Why is everything going this way? Why am I losing my mind? But anyway, let's cover FNF here. So, this will be round 1. That is the sound of
that's
everyone
those moves, Ali. That's those moves.
getting moved to the TFAR channel at once. We have Blue 4 versus Green 4 today. I believe Green 4 is going to be on the offense. So let's go ahead and set up our prediction. Don, thank you so much. Don beat me to it. Excellent. But all right, let's go over the operation here. Green 4 attacking, Blue 4 defending. Mission briefing is as follows. Border dispute breaks out between Poland and the Czech Republic. It soon escalates into a border skirmish. Game mode is going to be at sector, basically attacking faction trying to take sectors, defending faction trying to hold them. Once the sectors are taken, they cannot be retaken by the defenders. How a sector is taken is if there is a majority of players on the attacking side in the sector compared to the member count of defenders in the sector, a 90-second timer will start. If that majority is uninterrupted for those 90 seconds, the attackers will take the sector. There are 3 sectors total. The round is going to be 50 minutes long. The attackers have those 50 minutes to take all 3 sectors. If they don't, the defenders win. If they do, then the attackers win. Mission parameters. Render distance is a little over a click. Defender build points is 125, which is the vanilla standard for FNF. Beat 'em anti-tank settings. Let me check real quick. I don't see an echo on either side, so Matt doesn't matter. We're going to start with Green 4 here. Uniforms for Green 4 are going to be your modern Czech armed forces woodland camouflage. We got our platoon lead kit, the platoon sergeant, squad leaders, team leaders, auto rifleman assistants, grenadier IRs. Grenadier IRs are grenadiers with the Hunt IR 40mm camera grenades. They fire those in the air, deploys a little parachute with a camera on it. Great for getting a bird's eye view of things. You got your machine gunner assistants, which basically the breakdown between AR and MG. Auto riflemen get the light machine gun, the LMG. Machine gunners get the MMG, the medium machine gun. I'll break that down later, but you only see MGs in the Delta squads on the roster. Combat engineers, which have a choice of 4 different types of explosives. They have 2 explosive satchels, 4 explosive charges, 4 tripwire mines, which include 2 HE and 2 flare, and 3 AT mines. They get a choice of one of those, 4 different groups. You have your light anti-tank, your medium anti-tanks, which don't matter. Your RI, RIS, and SMP don't matter either because they were in a group called X-Ray that doesn't exist anymore. DMR for Green 4 is going to be an SVD. You got your crew leads, crewmen, pilots, medics, and your base kits. Loadout for these guys are going to be your SA-58Ps, HK-416s as the other rifle of choice, so everyone gets a choice of those 2 unless they have a specialized kit, and the CZ-99 as the handgun. Auto riflemen / light machine gunners get the FN Mini-Me. Medium machine gunners / machine gunners get the FN Mag. Light anti-tanks are going to be your single-shot disposable M136, and crew and aviation get a choice of a Scorpion or an HK-416. Nothing on crew served weapons there, but otherwise they get 4 BTR 40s with Dishkas. So only 450 rounds total there, and then 8 regular transport BTR 40s. So looking down here, yeah, not a bad staging zone. They get to stage anywhere on the border of this AO here. Looking at the roster here, we have Slushy taking command again. Slushy was debuting command last week, and I think won 2 out of the 3, or 3 of the 3 matches Slushy was in command of, so that was really good. Shy leading Alpha with Mutant as the marksman. Patriot leading Alpha 1 with Sam, Reapers, Olaf Sismo, and Otto Visky under him. Andriri leading Alpha 2 with Jekyller, Taurus, Warkus, Asada, and Holody. Norris leading Bravo with Inara as the squad's marksman. Bravo 1 being led by Bates with Zapata and Harrington. Oddball leading Bravo 2 with Alexander, and Savan is here. Nice. We've got Pierce leading Charlie. Looks like he's merged Charlie 1 with him. He'll probably merge Charlie 2 with him, but he's got Fonz as the marksman, and then Nordank, Nolvich, Wikifin, Ellie, Mogzi, Bunkers, and Okad with him. Vagrant also just jumped in. Then again, the 14th might stay as their own independent group, and then Pierce is just merging 1RW into Charlie Actual himself. Nemesis from Scandi Recon leading Delta, Azariah being a 2IC, Dobbs being the medic. They're not taking a marksman role. Iander leading Delta 1 with Cola, Siani Finn, Katz, and Pertin under him. Valentarian leading Delta 2 with Skits, Zally, and Eon under him. You gotta remember, Delta also have the machine gun, so the machine gunners here are going to be Cullis and Katz for Delta 1. Delta 2 is gonna have Skits and Eon. Alright, let's go ahead and look over at Blue 4's roster here. Blue 4 has, for their uniforms, Polish Intelligence Service Special Forces Olive Camouflage, so standard blue 4 gear. They're going to have Remington ACRs, the choice of the standard barrel or the carbine variant. Glock 17s for their handguns. Their light machine gunners get the Mini-Me. Their medium machine gunners get the MG3. Light anti-tank's going to be the 136. And then crew and aviation get a choice of an MP5 or another ACR. Assets, they only get 2 M2 M113s, which in my opinion are much more superior to those BTRs, but that's why Green 4 gets 4 of them, Blue 4 only getting 2. They get 1,500 rounds total, so 100 rounds per 15 with 15 boxes of those. So that's quite a lot more ammo compared to the 50 rounds of, 9 boxes in the BTRs, but I guess it's all about firepower and volume for the attackers. Otherwise, looking at the Blue 4 side, we've got Korvac commanding the defense, Dingo, head honcho of the early branch for FNF as his 2IC, Ash leading Alpha 1, Major Khan being the marksman, which appears to just be an ACR with an E-Clan on it, alright. And Eric is being the medic, Bluck leading Alpha 1 with Swola, Kermit, Tymek, Banks, Freckle, and Depso under him, Nakyo, I don't even know how you say that. He's not even the leadership. There is no leadership element. There's no name with a slash there, so I'm assuming Nano here is going to be leading with N1, Jabi, Foster, Kale, and Piros under him. Flux leading Bravo with King as the marksman and Novik as the medic. Excuse me. Guy Fieri leading Bravo 1 with Legal Action, Night Owl, Astronaut, Bogdan, Puma, and Oliver. Otherwise, it looks like they've merged Bravo 2 with Bravo 1, and that is Pepega representing right there. Kabubi Face leading Charlie with Steve as the 2IC. Wait, no, Steve would be the marksman. Solomon's being the medic, Kevin being the 2IC there. Looks like they merged part of Charlie 1, though, which is why Kevin might be in there. Charlie 2 has Pro Hunter leading Thompson, McCarthy, Gogu, Aim of the Balls, Roderick, Martin, and Crazy. And then Delta 1 simply has Sauls with Colin and Rufy being the machine gunners for the MG3s and Tyne Bush being an assistant. So overall, not a bad roster here. The defenders get the MG3, which in my opinion is the best machine gun for defense. Offense, it would probably be the M249 or Mini-Me, something, you know, with the 200 round capacity, a high fire rate. That's always good to have. Plus, you can be very mobile with it. Sector 1 appears to be a fortified stadium with a crashed UH-60 on it. A lot of places to hide here, some good overwatch positions on these sportscaster towers over yonder, and it's got a nice perimeter wall around it, plus the outer perimeter wall with these little entryways up here to watch. A lot of people to defend, but can also house a lot of people. Sector 2 appears to be this little mansion area here. I'll call it a villa. It's got a play set next to it. I'm sure a lot of players will feel right at home with that. And it's got a few buildings and then some open areas around it with some fortifications, like we see this one right here built. It could do some pretty good overwatch around everything, but that is a bit of a tougher AO to defend in my opinion. And then Sector 3 all the way down here is just another outcropping of buildings with some open areas around it, but some forests that come all the way up to it. This would probably be the toughest one to defend. Yeah, you got a nice 2-story right here. You got another nice 2-story right there, but one satchel, and those are all gone. Even 2 explosive charges thrown. Looks like they are going to try to defend it, though. We got some fortifications built. We do have Delta over here with those machine guns, you know, that can lock down these open areas, but that is a bit of a tough one compared to the other 2. I'd say Stadium would be the fallback point for everything, but you can have some squads, you know, in the others and try to do, what is it called? Pullback defense, where, I forget the exact term for it, but you basically engage, but you're quick to pull out, toss smoke, pull back. This group can pull back, covered by that group, and then that group can, you know, get up right here with those MG3s, since that's Delta, and then Overwatch Alpha 2 pulling back. But from up here, they can definitely do a lot of good Overwatch. Plus, these buildings are really, really overpowered because you can't blow them up. You can put all the satchels you want in it. It does not have a destroyed texture, and there's no way anyone can get up here because the one way up is this ladder, and you better believe I have seen plenty of times in... Huh. Well, looks like they're not going to be able to use the rooftop of that building. Anyway. Okay. Touche, FNF. Touche. I think that's the right way to do it, though. Because as I was going to explain, that rooftop is overpowered as hell. So, blocking the access to the rooftop. Yeah. Touche. Touche. All right. Hope you're all doing A-okay. Otherwise, Naps coming in to say Scandy #1. I gotcha. How you doing, Shadow, Mutton, Don, Pharonix, yada-da, and DOL. How are you doing? Let's see, scrolling up. Don't suppose you were able to do a video tutorial on how to do DayZ server mods? Maybe in time, but I'm still learning a lot myself, really with drop tables. That's what I've been bashing my head against, but like I said, we'll be doing a walkthrough of everything. I'm thinking of doing a stream before the event at 10:30, probably just to show off the drop table, because it still needs to be edited, but I also found out today that there's an XML that pulls all the other XMLs and tells DayZ to search those specific XMLs, which makes sense. I just never applied it, and I was noticing last night when I was looking through everything, it wasn't spawning any TF stuff, and I figured there was something like that that needed to be done, but Ghost Wolf came back just to say, hey, like, you know, this exists, and you need to change that. So again, learning. But, yeah, after I learn everything, I wouldn't mind sharing it in video format, but it's a gigantic pain in the ass. Because here's the situation I've been reported right now. Right now, food spawns more than anything else, and clothing is super rare, which is really weird because I just went through and literally slashed the amount of food by like half, and now clothing is still, or excuse me, food is still like, it's even worse now, and guns are even harder to find, but guns I literally tripled to quadrupled in civilian areas, so I'm like, what the hell? So it might be a tagging issue somewhere. I'll have to do more research into it, but yeah, you know, I literally spent an hour having to rewrite the TF mod file too because I edited the wrong XML. So I had to basically import everything I made and put it in the other document. But yeah, you know, editing. It's a bitch. It's all an experience, yeah, right? Oh, and Don always screams. Also, Willow, how you doing? But my plan is get some of the events done this weekend. I'm probably going to take it easy Saturday because I've got a game night for IRL stuff. So that'll be my break day. Maybe, no, actually, I'm not going to do any streaming at all that day. I'm just going to take it easy because those XML files are a pain in the ass. But, you know, resume Sunday and have more stuff streaming on the weekdays, so. Yeah, I don't understand how you're able to find MMG gear in the train tunnel because I took that away. So unless the train tunnel is just a hidden tier 4 zone. But even then, it doesn't make any sense because the train tunnels are tagged to take industrial gear and tools and all this other stuff. And the MMG tags I've assigned everything only state it in military. So I guess I gotta look at that again. Because there's another thing where there has to be a hidden tag symbol somewhere, or a hidden tag system, because there's stuff that's assigned to only spawn in the endgame zone of Lantia, and it's still spawning on the main island, and I'm like, why? Like, this makes no sense. But, you know, DayZ, screw me, whatever. Learn things one at a time at this rate. Shark, I do not know personally, but good luck, buddy. Alright, 1 minute remaining. I guess we'll go back on topic here. Green 4, I always use the train tracks, or at least I see the train tracks used as a major road for the offensive teams to move in. I'm going to be honest, I think the easiest way for the attackers to get into this AO is to simply put all their forces on the train tracks, deploy right here, and come in through right here if they want a flanking force. They could also deploy a squad through the riverbed right here. I mean, I'm just looking at this through the map because that's all the information they have. And then, you know, after they take Sector 3, they can then have this riverbed squad come up, assist on Sector 2, and then, you know, flank all the way around, hit Sector 1 from the north as the main force keeps crossing through. They can also detach a squad if they feel this is too thin to come up this route and then start attacking Sector 1 early as the main force comes in from the south. Now, that's all the logical way to do it. Do I think the players are going to do that? Probably not. Instead, we're going to probably see something a little on the silly side, but it looks like most of them are going to go for the approach here. This is what's concerning me, though. This appears to be the entirety of Delta coming up out of here, and I don't agree with that. I feel like Delta, if they wanted it to be their own element, should be over here as the suppressing group. That way, when you call for machine gun assistance, they're there to assist the main force. We're seeing Delta in FNF recently being treated the same way as X-Ray was back when that was a thing, roughly, I want to say 7 or 8 months ago. X-Ray was a team with a sniper rifle and 2 suppressed shooters, and you could either play it as a sniper group, or you could play it as 2 suppressed guys that go and harass the rear of the enemy. And for whatever reason, almost every commander thought, oh, okay, I can just send them off to do their own thing, when that is not the point of X-Ray. You would use X-Ray logically as one of 2 things. A group to keep in your rear to overwatch your group and pick people off, or a group to do reconnaissance for your main group, not to, or like an Overwatch position. And if you really wanted to, you could send in the suppressed shooters with the rest of the group and play them as CQC on the side, or try to have them overwatch their own objective, and if it was empty, then you could push them in. But they always put them in these really weird positions, or just told them, hey, do whatever you want. And that's what I feel like Delta's now becoming, because look at where they're dismounting right here. All the way over here. With the intent of, I assume, moving up this forested area to go do their own thing. They're going to end up running into these groups, the 2 113s. By the way, they don't have any AT. So, what are they going to do if they run into a vehicle like that or something? But it's so silly. And then you got the main force, which appears to be following most of what I said. We got 1 squad dismounting over here, and the rest of the forces, they're going to come up this route over here, which I don't agree the main force should be doing that, because you got a bit of an opening right here that Blue Force, if they wanted to, they could lock down right there. But with Recon, they'd see that that's open. And with this building, they can also get some decent Overwatch angles on their advance, but it's just easier to utilize the trees and the roaming hills over here to advance through cover. But the way Blue 4 is deploying, they've got a flanking group over here to prevent anything coming around the left side. I agree with that. And the beauty of that is if nothing comes up it, you can then reposition it and start attacking the flanks of whatever your attack is doing and hopefully sweeping left to right. I do also appreciate they're sending a few guys down here to, especially with an explosive guy right here, they could be setting traps or mines on the riverbed to deny that approach. I don't know what Major Khan's doing all the way out here on his own. What class is he? Yeah, I have no idea what he's doing out here. He's part of Alpha, and he's way over here as a marksman. That's kind of a lone wolf thing, but whatever. We have Night Owl, who's managed to fall off of the edge of the stadium, and no one's around to... Okay, thankfully he wakes back up. That's pretty funny, though. I do appreciate Blue 4's defensive lines, though. They've opted not to really hold anything in Charlie except for Korvac. There used to be, when before they updated how to do sector defense, you could keep 1 defender in the sector and it wouldn't be takeable until all defenders were killed. That was abused heavily because of certain AOs that were made. I personally kind of like that AO as long as you make the sector small and confine it to 1 building. Because the smart thing to do would be, all right, we know there's a guy in here and he's camping it. Instead of sending people in, let's just throw an explosive satchel, blow the building up, kill the defender, easy. It became an issue when defenders were in buildings that couldn't be destroyed or in areas that couldn't be destroyed, and they would just corner camp the hell out of it. And it was so big that a single grenade wouldn't be able to flush it out. So I prefer this system over some things, and I prefer the older system over others, but it's entirely situational. But we have the BTRs doing Overwatch and honking, which is not the smartest idea, because if Blue Force close, they'll hear that and know that they're coming up on that route. I'm impartial about the BTRs. I mean, in this terrain, over here more in the open, they'd be a bit more useful, but over here, they're a bit more CQC. And at that point, they're just going to be going for headshots or suppressing buildings, penetrating past building floors and hitting people inside, which is why it's good to keep 1 or 2 of them on the back line, which they are doing, but in terms of the manpower they have over here, because they've sent an entire squad all the way over here on the left to operate on their own, I feel like they would be better to have more manpower on the ground, or instead of, you know, probably relying on these to be a force multiplier with suppression, they could have instead had Delta do that. And I feel like Delta's in a bad spot because they're about to be driven up on by 113s here, and they have nothing to deal with those 113s, so instead they have to lay low and hope they don't look too far into the tree line here. I think that plan's going to work out for them because these groups are going to come around the rear. They're probably going to be harassing this group, and that gives Scandy the opportunity to attack from the wide flank of the defenders here. But that's only if the defensive Blue 4 element here drag their feet on this counterattack once they identify where Green 4 is going in. But that's another thing about Friday Night Fights, is aggression is something that is not predictable with the factions. Because there are times where they're super aggressive and they just charge headlong and get absolutely slaughtered, which granted, those are rare. They're funny as hell to watch, but they're rare. And then there's other times where they're just super slow, super defensive, and a more offensive group like Papega or Scandy take the initiative and end up coming out with multiple kill streaks per player because of all that. So Major Khan's over here watching that route, but he doesn't see that Scandy went by. Again, kind of awkward because his entire group is over here. I don't know why he's over here on his own, but c'est la vie, I guess. All right, we have gunfire over here as Blue 4 and Green 4 start engaging each other on these outskirts. Now, here's what we need to see. We need to see this group going on the rear of this formation. I would honestly recommend they come up here, dismount their forces around here, and just start coming up north, playing it, you know, safer than sorry. Because this guy, they're probably going to think there's nothing coming up over here, which is going to make them think their entire force is over here. So bring the vehicles around, dismount them right here, have the infantry get a good 50 to 100 meter head start because those 113s are loud, and screen the 113s and just sweep left to right. Because I would think it's safe to assume that the entire force is not going to be in here. Maybe there's a force up there, but there's more likely going to be a force right here since they think this is all clear. Now, of course, I'm watching Major Khan right now. He might see these guys moving forward now, which is going to say, like, tell everyone, hey, there's this force coming around, in which case the defenders can move things around as well. But I think these guys should keep with the dismount right here and just attack that group from the rear. Because defenders, statistically in FNF, if they send a group to start attacking the flanks, they are usually much more likely to win the round. Sometimes that blows up in their face, though, because the counterattack becomes way too slow, and then those units that are out there are, you know, out of the AO, and the offensive group just steamrolls the defense group. But I think if they can be quick and mobile with those forces, they'll be fine. So you got this Dishka pulling back here on that BTR. It took some machine gun fire. But all this first line needs to do is either pin the force right here so the counterattacking force can come around, or be quick to pull back to the secondary defensive line. Now, with the fact that Blue 4 are using really loud vehicles back here, the 113s, any chance of ambushing is out the door because, again, those are super duper loud. So all the more reason they should be a little more aggressive in their movements, in the hope that they sandwich a force right here because they hear that audio behind them and go, okay, there's a hostile behind us, we need to hold and reassess. And then from there, the goal with that is that's not communicated to other groups that, hey, you know, this one flank needs to hold. So other groups go in at a lessened force because now they're not supported. And then the defenders can beat that force out, and then the attackers here can at least trade evenly. And then by then, the defenders are in a, you know, a better suit. But the way things are playing out, it looks like these guys were ordered to pull back, because Major Khan spotted Delta. Now, I think that is a massive mistake on Blue Force side here, because they were already in a position on the other side of the map to start going behind and engaging this force. And now they're being ordered to immediately pull back and drive all the way to the northern side of the map to try to counter that force. Because if Major Khan's paying attention to how mobile this group is, by the time the 113s get set up, and maybe Delta will get pinned right here by this defensive line in that group, this group is going to steamroll sectors 2 and 3. And then by the time the 113s eliminate Delta, if that is the case, they will just be out of position and this group will steamroll and go to Sector 1. So I would just commit to your plans at that point. Hope your defensive lines hold, but again, he could have only seen, how do I put it? At most, he would have only seen a single squad. So a single squad can be held by, a single squad of defenders, at least in the open. So that, I think, is a bit of a waste. I do appreciate, I saw Reapers pulling back. He was tracking the audio of the 113s, because, again, those things are loud. But if Blue 4 had a proper infantry screen, Reapers would have never been able to get into a position to take them out. But I digress. Was I in the military? No. I have a lot of family that was in the military, but I never claimed personally that I was. So here we have a bit of an interesting point here. This entire group is assaulting that unsupported, which you would think there's this other attack coming over here, but these guys aren't really in a position to deal with the specific force that's harassing these guys moving up. So the BTR is kind of supporting that group. Now you got Alpha also coming up. I could see an argument for people claiming that they are supporting each other right here, but they're simply just engaging different parts of the closed defense line that Delta is trying to establish. Granted, it's pretty spread thin right now. A bulk of Blue 4 is in those 113s, which are starting to dismount, but I mean, look, these guys, they're just mounting all the way back here. There's no way in hell they're going to catch up to Delta. Delta's probably going to move right here. Notice there's nothing to engage them. They're going to stay in this low bed, get right up to here, and then get right on top of the objective right here. And that group's going to be completely behind them. So if this is well-timed, you're going to see Alpha pretty much take that sector. Bravo's going to push through and take this sector, and Delta's going to be immediately on top of the final sector by then, with a lot of Blue 4 caught out of position. And that's the risk you take when you go on counterattacks like that, which is why if you do one thing, you have to commit to it. But now you got the other chunk of Alpha for Blue 4 right here getting caught with Alpha 1 on their assault. And now it's just entirely up to the PvP, but look at the amount of defenders we have. And look at the amount of offensive units. It's a mess. Granted, we've seen quite a few skulls already form up on the attacking side. But I think there's going to... I mean, Blue 4 is just going to be forced to pull back right in time for Delta to be on top of that objective, hit it from another side. And these guys are going to be caught out of position. BTR's harassing. You got the other half of Blue 4 Alpha pulled back to right here. They got their AT out. Whiffs a shot in the dark. Unfortunately, it goes over. Korvac, Blue 4 Command getting caught in a building over here. And look at this. You're having Charlie actually come up and take this route to go around and hit the stadium. I don't think that's needed, because they're going to have Delta come around and do that. What this is instead going to do is provide Blue 4 an opportunity, once the stadium is attacked, to regroup and move to the final sector over here, and still have a fighting chance, because this defensive line is also going to pull back. I think Charlie should have helped with Bravo in the main assault right here. But then again, they could always just cross through and hit that other side. I'm just worried that based off of the units that are right here and the defensive lines that are being made right here, is that this attack wave is going to stall around this sector. They're going to go for that, and then, you know, these defenders are going to be able to go in. But look at the movement of these guys. I mean, they dismounted right here, and they've only moved a few hundred meters. Meanwhile, these guys have literally moved from right here to here to here, and now they're trying to find the best route to come right on top of that objective. So that's just a thing you see with Scandi and Pepega, the two best communities in FNF in my opinion, is they are very good at being mobile. And it's very, very hard for you to catch up to them. Alright, so you got Kale right here, trying to get some shots on Seismo. He got hit twice, taking some return fire from Seismo. Sam trying to suppress in that direction. Now, when you get into small skirmishes like these, it is incredibly important to stay mobile and with your group, because look at this, Kale is now taking friendly fire from Nano, because Nano doesn't realize that he moved up there on it. He's still up there on his own. But Blue 4 is only down to 2 defenders right here. And you got some Green 4 guys, look at this, on the left and right flank. Patriot pushing up the left, Reapers on the right, as Seismo, Sam, and Olaf are holding and engaging, trying to keep them pinned so the flankers can come in and engage. So now you've got the Charlie squad here trying to engage these two Blue 4 in the open. I think they should have crossed first before they did that, because now they're going to draw the ire of other groups. You see that, right? Actually, no. Legal action firing on Delta. And immediately gets clapped. Ha! Oh my god. You hear those 113s coming. At this point, Scandi might actually hold and engage. There's Sector 3's prompt being captured by Bravo moving in with Alpha. Charlie coming up on the side. I just feel like Blue 4 is too spread out right now. They're just going to be defeated on all fronts, except this northern one. But look at everyone on Blue 4 turning around. This is exactly what Green 4 wants, them to take the bait of this one group so they can at least sweep south to north right here, and it's going to work.
Send in Goat Team 6 now.
32-month. Wow, this is getting long.
The one issue I have right now is Blue 4... the issue for Green 4 is Blue 4 has these positions, these 113s, but the gunners could get sniped out. We just saw a shot right there hit the shoulder, and now they're panic firing. Hell Knight in, so 32-month resub. I hope you keep enjoying the operations. I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. See, but here's the deal. These 113s are firing, and they're not really supported right here. Green 4 getting some great pickoffs right here. Sector 3 officially captured. Smoke's being popped. But these guys have a really good defensive position right here to hold and engage all of these forces that are pulling out of the AOs to attack them. Green 4 stalled right here. Charlie stalled right there. We need to see some more maneuvering in order for this group to be effective here. FNF, friend on friend. Yeah, with all the friendly fire we sometimes see. And we just saw the gunner get headshotted. And the vehicle changed damage textures. The engine might have just gotten shot off. And that is the weakness of having vehicles attack unsupported. Granted, now you're having the infantry charge in support. Green Force pulled back to this building. You got the other 113 coming in to assist. More shots on that gunner. More shots on that gunner. That was 2. You see how they're just blindly spraying at this point? Alright, now you're having Blue 4 assault here with grenades. Just look at all the forces here that are pulled out. If we saw Charlie, like everything else, push into these two sectors, they'd be able to take them. I have a feeling because how things have slowed down here quite a bit, Charlie holding and engaging from this position. Bravo now trying to maneuver, but there's a few Blue 4 guys keeping them pinned. I think we might see enough time for Blue 4 to come up here, entirely wipe Delta, and then pull back and reestablish a defensive line at this sector. Is that a satchel? Please tell me that's a satchel. Nope, those are some well-placed grenades, but they're causing casualties. GL goes up, knocks out Valentarian. Skits wakes back up. This is where a satchel would be really, really good. Cullis might get shot in the ass. Goku gets shot through the windows here. You just saw this guy get blown away. A lot of Green 4 getting knocked out right here. Someone needs to find that light AT and take these vehicles out. Or I guess this one specific vehicle. That 113 is reloading right now. Eon. Great use right there. Killed the guy that woke up. Aim at the ball. Is trying to come around, but Eon sprays him down with a triple kill now. Again, that's why you need an explosive, just to blow the building up, because otherwise, this specific building I have seen so many times where people just camp it really freaking hard. And they can also just short throw a grenade down here and get these other guys. Looks like the knocked out guy was taken out. Yanni is busy bandaging. Well, that's because, again, Delta doesn't have AT, which is why I was against them going off on their own like this. I see why they did it, but it's costing them now. Because the only thing they can do is use bullets to try to snipe the gunners. Or steal enemy AT. Now, looking back at the main fight, Charlie has started moving to this sector. Bravo has come around to reinforce. Alpha doesn't have a lot. They're still pinned right here as a few elements are able to fold them back. But it looks like the final defense is going to be on Sector 2. Looks like a lot of the attackers here ended up pulling back to form a defensive sector right here. You got the BTRs firing to assist. This could still go either way, because both sides have been taking a good chunk of casualties. Trying to watch this fight right now. I feel like Blue 4 no longer has the manpower to entirely take out Delta. You just saw Kabubi running around. Yanni took him out. Could still wake back up. But yeah, if there's nothing here and Blue 4 wins that fight, Delta is still going to come around on the other side and continue to hit that sector and then hit the other sector from the other side. So it's kind of looking in Green 4's favor right now, but anything can randomly turn around to change that. Skids gets double tapped by a grenade. Some other really well-placed grenades. That's going to get this dude. It does not kill Eon. Wow. Grenade out there knocks Steve out. See, they could also have the 113 spray that area, but look at that. Gunner just got killed off on that 113. Because Nemesis was able to get up on him through a building and just take him out. Now Nemesis firing from across the street. Kills someone, Steve wakes back up. Yanni now flanking, knocks out McCarthy, and now Steve is the only one up here. It's because the groups that were over here, that defensive group that pushed up to assist, pulled back because they realized they need to make a defensive line, and they overextended themselves. So this counterattack has been wasted. And now I'd say Green 4 at this point has a near 2-to-1 number advantage. You just saw Nemesis take Steve out right there, who was staying over. You only have Dingo up right here, who's 2IC. Korvac, the commander's dead. And I think Slushy is going to have his third or fourth win of the past 2 weeks. He's been on one of the command BTRs, and he's actually gotten a kill with that gun. That's awesome. He gets a second kill with that gun! Yeah, Shark, welcome to Arma 3 Physics, buddy. What factions? The attacking faction, I believe, is Czech, and the defending faction is Polish. Green 4 is Czech, Blue 4 is Polish. Oh, look at this. Heroes here firing at his own dudes that decided to try to aggressively cross around. There's been a lot of misplays there for the first round, but again, that's expected with these types of AOs. Explosives being thrown over. Flux survives. Might have been right there, because look at this body. Look at how it ragdolled. It's artwork now. It's literally a freaking statue. GL's now going around. That's taking out some of the Green 4 guys because they're falling short. Looks like the BTR was taken out. And now you are going to basically see these remaining few guys pull back. But look at the number of Blue 4 compared to Green 4. I think this is Green 4's game to lose at this point. Biggest amount of contention is going to be at Sector 2 here. You also have a lot of Green 4 trying to take this building. I think they thought they could get up here and do Overwatch, but you see them coming down, realizing that that's blocked off. You hear that 113 coming around, but now they're going to start approaching territory that enemies have AT on. gonna drive right into the stadium and take cover. Whew. Alright, so you got some green 4 around here. Though with how spaced out green 4 is, you could see the defenders hold. You could still see blue 4 bounce back with these small garrisons because with green 4 where they are, there's a big garrison right here. There's only small groups moving into these sectors. You could still see blue 4 do that hold.
Team 6.
How it going?
Ugh.
Anyone drinking?
Corn, thanks for the 26-month resub. I'm just drinking water because there's a lot of stuff I gotta do tonight. But nonetheless, thank you for all your support. I hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. Oh yeah, speaking of. Korvac, you were Blue Force commander. You might get waterboarded again. Funny. Look at this. Saul's coming up, getting multiple. Well, I was going to say he got multiple kills, but he doesn't have any, so awkward. Oh, there's a second one that came around too. All right, that's where the damage was done. And we got Ellie on 4 kills. That's great. But again, looking at the numbers here, the fighting around here is about to be even, but with Scandy coming around over here, I think that's going to make the difference. AT going into that 113, and that disables its engine. I feel like Blue 4 might be able to hold this one. It's going to be close. This one, though, the South isn't going to be able to advance, but as soon as Delta gets in there, that's what's going to be the change. Woo! People also like to camp this building. You know what fixes it? Grenades. You can't blow it up, but you can put enough shrapnel in there to for it to not matter. There's Sector 2 officially being captured because they were able to clear out most of the defenders in this building with grenades. Heroes just took a hit. His battle buddy took a hit there. There was a bad nade. Looks like no KIAs from that for Green 4. But, all right, there's, they pulled out of the sector. Oh, no, that's because these two Blue 4 guys left the sector. Kermit fails at throwing a grenade, jumps down, might be able to come around. See if he throws the grenade right here. Perfect. And now we're going to see what happens to Iqbal. He dead. And this other guy died, and now the sector's no longer being captured. So it's up to Commander Slushy to take the sector on a third kill now. Fighting with Kermit. Gets a hit on Kermit. Kermit's running right. Lolo's running around. Slushy trying to flank. Oh! Slushy was in the turn. So as I figured, the defenders might be able to hold there, but now Sector 1, I mean, looking back, Sector 1 got completely stomped by Delta coming in on the rear. And again, I think it's just Green 4's game to lose at this point. Ah, they're on the 50. You can see those rounds penetrating. Uma, you have a very thin piece of metal holding you, buddy. It's... Ooh. It's not going to work out the way you want. AT goes up here. Warkus tries to come up. He gets blown away. And he gets taken out. It was like his head was exposed and someone over here took the shot. And there's Sector 1 taken. Lolo has actually managed to get a few more kills. I say that, he only got 1 kill, but See a Blue 4 member pulled out right there. If Ash gets taken out, I mean, Blue 4's down to 3 dudes. There was a 4th, he got taken out. All right. We've got Major Con, who I think just got a kill right there. Picking someone off. But I think this is it. Trying to get a second shot right there. He's going to pull back. Now we're just going to watch the remainder of Delta cautiously push in.
Send in Goat Team 6 now.
Best content on the interweb thingy.
Son of Sun Tzu, thanks for the 18-month resub, buddy. That gets you a goat horn badge for your Lance Corporal badge. I hope you keep enjoying the operations. I hope you continue to think it is the best, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario.
Ooh, hey, look. Yeah, he dead as
I do need a medic.
There's Sector 2 being captured now that additional forces have entered it. Ash is on -1. That's awkward. We might not even see a breach, because why breach it when you're taking the sector? Oh, is Lolo gonna get behind him? Yes! Yes! Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Just, you know, go in there, Navy SEAL the one-shooter, Hillary Clinton at it again. Ah, it's a shame that Blue 4 committed suicide at the end. Oh my god, Green 4 won twice! I can only pay it out once, though, I'm sorry to say.